Hey everybody, I'm Cheryl Swift, the Duchess of Rock and Roll. We're here tonight in St. Louis at Sky Music Lounge with Farewell Angelina. Hey! So tonight, which you won't be seeing this tonight, you'll be seeing this in a few days, is the EP release for your new album.
Women and Wine.
Yep.
Women and Wine.
You gotta stay on brand.
She's on brand.
Yes.
This is
Women
white
and
wine.
bourbon.
Women and whiskey.
Women and
wine.
martinis.
women
All
and
we don't discriminate.
Women in Aquafina.
Very
Anyway.
open-minded.
Oh, that walking through the frame was none of Johnny.
Perfect.
We're backstage here in the green room. We've got friends and family out front, so we're going to do this quick tonight. So I wanted to take a few minutes, first of all, to say I love the new song. I can't wait for the rest of the album to show up. Because, you know, who doesn't like Women in Wine?
You're gonna hear it tonight.
Yeah.
Are there CDs living on?
Yes.
There are CDs.
That's
I
a
like
cool
real
thing.
physical things, you know.
Yeah, we all love that.
Don't you love
It's
that?
going out of style a little bit, but we're very old school in that way. And it's cool because our EP release parties have been before the release on iTunes. So people are getting a real, unique experience at our show. So
I'm very excited. So this is the new EP. This is your second full EP that you've done, right?
yeah.
Yes, as a group.
My first.
My first.
Baby Spice.
This is Baby Spice or our Ashley, whichever way we want to, whichever way. So the last time I met you, you were filling in, and now you're a permanent spot in the band.
I guess my audition went well. I mean,
It went really well. It was a stellar audition. They were like, "What do you think?"
I
And I was
had
like, "We should keep
Simon
her."
Cowell called me and was like,
Yes.
Yes,
And
we're gonna
Paula.
keep her.
I think I was like reading off an iPad
Yeah.
the last time.
Yes.
The last time we were here.
Yeah, the last time that you saw me play.
Oh, that's so.
I was
funny.
still learning all the
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Because the last time I saw you guys, you were on tour with this little band called the Bacon Brothers.
Yeah.
So now you have 0 degrees of separation.
Exactly.
Well,
We eat
we have
bacon
a-
for every meal.
We have a Bacon Brothers song on our record that Kevin wrote for Kira Sedgwick, his wife. And
We're gonna drop all the names.
We asked him to if we could cut it, and
Right.
he said absolutely. And Michael played cello on it. So when you hear that track,
Yes.
you're going to hear Michael Bacon's just extraordinary musicianship just bursting
Beautiful.
through. It's gorgeous.
Well, because, we all love Kevin Bacon, but that night was the first night I'd got to see him on stage. I knew he was a singer and his brother was a musician. Like, I knew that, but until that night when we went to they did a show here a couple months back with Kevin Bacon and his brother is Michael, right?
Yeah.
And it was so fun to see. I love it. I love multifaceted. I call them multi-ball players. Like Gaga's a triple threat. Merle Haggard was a triple, quadruple threat. Christopherson. You know how I love Chris. So when I saw that you got to do that, number one was super cool to get to be on the bill with Kevin Bacon. I mean, that's for me. I don't know how you guys felt.
for sure.
I mean, I was
No question.
like,
We're done.
I don't get
Okay,
stupefied.
seriously, the girls can vouch for this, but I was side stage those first couple shows doing the Footloose dance while he's on stage singing like giddy little girl freaking out.
Yeah.
They're such nice
Fangirling.
people, and they're
Right.
like, first and foremost musicians and artists, and they that you don't think about that when you think about Kevin's acting career, but he wrote this song that we all relate to so much. He wrote it about his crazy, schedule and being away from the person that he loves and kind of carrying her with him. So we think about that when we're singing
Well,
the
because
song.
that's
and
your
our families.
lives. Except you're the female version of what
Yeah.
he's going through on the road.
Yeah.
And sometimes man, woman, it doesn't matter. You miss your husband or your fiance or your kids. Or they miss
Or
their
your
wives
animals.
or their animals. Oh, I'm sorry. In Ashley's case, apparently.
I don't have any dogs, but I have adopted dogs. So.
Ashley, throwing it out there. She's just got a dog. Adopt a dog.
I want a dog.
But, how is that for you on the road? And, you have a fiance.
Yes. Tell them who I'm marrying, because I know what you're going to say.
She's marrying.
Jesus.
Say it.
Sweet hot Jesus.
Yes.
Is that what I call her? Brad Hot Jesus. When I met her boyfriend, I didn't know Andrea. I knew Andrea, but I didn't know Andrea and know Andrea. And I met him, and I was like, I was just stupefied. It was the night, the whole Zach Brown. It was the whole night. It was the night my whole life changed.
Oh, wow.
Like that day, Zach Brown, Blackberry Smoke, Levi. It brings me to tears. My life, I think it's been 5 or 6 years, is completely different because of that day.
Wow.
And Brad was part of that day. He was at the show that night at a bar I think we were on Printers Row. That's a long time ago. I know we were at a bar. I know I was exhausted.
It was 12th and Porter.
12th and Porter. I know Sonia Lee walked up to me and everybody's like, "Oh my God, do you know who you're talking to?" I'm like, "No, sorry, Sonia, I know who you are now." But that night, so I met Brad, who her fiance is very attractive, and
Sweetheart
he just is sweetheart Jesus.
He has been a part of so many people's lives, though, on the day that everything changed. He is a person that walks on water.
He touches people in a beautiful way.
Well, in his album, you gave me, or you gave me, I don't know how I have his album, and he's a great musician, but, so you're newly engaged.
Yes.
You've got it, there's so much stuff, and yet you keep this together. Like, you both made your family, your life, like you all have different situations, but you keep the music the priority. How is that for you guys?
Balance.
Yeah, I don't.
Balance.
Yeah, and I don't think the music and our family are both number one priorities. If that's the thing.
I totally get it.
So
music is like just a part of us, though. We can't not do it.
Yeah,
it's like just
right.
there.
It's
right.
like two limbs of our body, and we make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
that's a great way.
I almost just made a communion reference. We went to Jesus. I was like, bread and wine.
And now we're confused.
Women and wine, bread and wine. Brad.
Andrea's not literally marrying Jesus, but he's like Jesus.
He's like Jesus. But anyway, I don't think I've seen you since the engagement. So congrats on that.
We're all heading down to Jamaica.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. I think they have alcohol there.
Understatement of the year.
A little bit. So let's talk about this new EP. How many songs we got on it? What's going on?
Seven songs.
Lucky number 7.
I'm so excited about this. That's our sound engineer for the evening, Gino.
Right. We're doing a live interview.
We're doing a live interview, Gino.
Right now.
Are you recording it?
I am. We're on video.
Say
All right.
hi.
Gino Hicks, live show production.
Okay, thanks, Gino.
This is amazing.
We're really excited about this EP.
He's EP. Back to the EP.
Really?
7 songs.
Yes.
7 songs.
Yes. The bonus track is the Kevin Bacon song, and we're
Is
going to be
Kevin
playing
singing
stuff tonight. You'll have to buy the record. And
I'm gonna buy it
Come on.
tonight.
The cool thing about
Not gonna tell.
Okay.
we were trying to get notes and stuff from Kevin, and how would you like us to do this? Wanted him to be a part of it as much as he could, and he really wanted us to just kind of do our artistry. And he said,
That's
we
beautiful.
had that mutual respect thing
So-
of we wanted to make sure that we did it justice for him and for Michael and stuff. And then he really just kind of pushed back and said, "No, this is you. You
Isn't
guys
it
do this
great?
song the way that you see
Yes.
it and feel it, because that's what an artist does."
And that's a beautiful thing, because I find anymore that generosity is something that could make a comeback, and civility.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I appreciate about you guys, gals. I'm so used to that vernacular. Is that you make it work. You're 4 people in a van together. That's not always easy. Small van.
Yes.
I go with my family and I don't necessarily want to do it. So it's like, it's a challenge, but yet it's worth it. Because when you guys sing, it's angelic to me. I'm not kidding. I talk about your harmonies all the time. I compare you to the greats. I compare you to the Eagles. I compare you to, I'm like, wow, you got to hear them sing. Just because it's angelic to me, because I love the 4 parts and that it's a whole. That's the theme today.
And
it's a
we're
theme.
all very different people, but we all have a sisterhood where we just lean on each other when we need each other, and all bring something different to the table, musically and personality wise. And I think that is really reflective on the album, because we each kind of were able to bring a song that we were passionate about for the EP. And for me, it was crazy because I had just joined the band, and
you're like, what I gonna say?
I started raising my
They were like,
what do you got? What song you got? What song do you want?
They're like, 21 grand by the fans. What song are you bringing to the table? And Nicole called me. He's like, you can pick any song you want, but more problems. More problems.
You're like, you can have this one, but this is the one you should
And
pick.
I was like, okay, yeah. And the fans already kind of had known the song because we were doing it
Right.
live, so it was cool. And it was just a natural thing, and we all jumped on creating this sound for each song that each girl picked. So I
think that's great. And that's the other thing I wanted to touch on is the Kickstarter that you did.
Oh my gosh.
So let's talk about the fans and friends that have
blows me away.
It blows us away. Our fan base is incredible, and they have become friends of ours. It's our farewell family. We call them our family. And just through touring, it's like our biggest thing we want to do is create moments on stage every night. We're all in this together, and we want it to be a rolling party. And so every single night it's different, but every single night we want to love on everybody that's there.
Right.
And so we get to know our fans.
Yeah, and you do a great job, by the way.
Across the country. And
I've never seen, coming into this band, I had never seen anything like the way that they do Farewell Family and the way, and I admire it so much, and I just had to be a part of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's the fans, they've taken me in really nicely.
Right. Yeah, you transitioned. Not that we don't miss, we love you. We loved, there's no love lost either. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And that's the thing about it is, I had a very famous musician ask me recently, what's the key to these couple bands' success? I said, that's easy. It's the way they treat their fans.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a personal connection these days with the way the world is going away from connectivity, it's not going to work.
With social media, they want that connection.
Yes.
Everybody has. You guys have access to us all the time.
Instagram lives, we do them now a lot. We do.
But
they hate me.
It's a brilliant thing to give love to your fans. Not just the Kickstarter.
It's the most important
But it's the most important thing.
I always say that without the people that are sitting in the audience or buying the albums online or watching our Instagram lives or whatever, then I am that 5-year-old little girl still standing in front of the mirror
with a
singing
hairbrush
to myself with a hairbrush and wishing that I could do something more with it.
Right.
So without people in the audience, without people interacting and contributing the way that they do, I know that people say that we're the ones putting on the show, but really it's so much more about the crowd.
It's
and
symbiotic, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because I can feel bands when the band is off. I mean, I've never seen you guys off, but I've seen I've been to a lot of shows where I'm like, oh, this ship's gonna sink. And I'll try to change my energy. I've been trained in that. I can actually in the moment shift, or I'll shift for someone, or I'll focus on them. And sometimes I can't save the ship. I'm like, here's a round of shots for the band.
And even like Andrea and I were at a songwriters round the other day, and the guy was so great, just so amazing, and no one was cheering for him. And they were just listening, and we know how much
it was Daryl Scott.
Scott. Yeah. People were
King.
People were listening.
King Daryl.
People were very respectful and listening, but Andrea and I started hooting and hollering
to try to bring it up.
We know that that's what artists feed off of, and it was like we were like every time we did it, the rest of the place followed. So we kept doing it, and we'd watch everyone go, ooh, ooh.
I do that sometimes, like when Kindle opened for Cody Jinks in the fall. I know Kindle. I love Kindle. Not everybody knows who Kindle is, although they should. They know his songs.
Right where I need to be, right?
Like people don't know.
Oh yeah.
People don't really always know songwriters. Where this is my business to know, right? And I'm like, and people are like, are you his daughter? Like, I'm out there in the midst of the Ascend Theater trying to bring the crowd up because they don't all. Now, they were all fans by the end of his set.
So, and fans listening, don't be afraid to yell for
and show up for the opening band.
Yes.
Do you know how?
Oh my God.
Always.
You never know.
I'm like, do you have any idea how many friends I have from actually showing up and listening and paying attention?
Yes, and you don't know, like, the opening band will not be the opening band for very long.
Jaco and Brothers Osborne.
Yeah.
Farewell, Angelina.
We had so much with the Bacon Brothers in particular, where their fans wrote us letters saying, we never show up to the Bacon Brothers opening acts, but word has spread through their fan group of like, hey, if the girls
just gives me chills.
I think one of the girls was like, we don't like going to the opening act because we're so anxious to see the band, and that we always hate the opening act no matter how good they are. And so we never go to the opening act, but we decided because we heard it, and so we went to yours, and we weren't anxious to see Bacon. Like, we were excited to see them, but we weren't like, get off the stage.
Like when I've had so many friends. Like I had a friend open for Miranda last year. I'm like, you shouldn't miss her set, people. What are you doing? Come to the show. Like you're spending the money.
Come here.
Put that fireball in your boot like everybody else, and let's go. Now I don't do that.
Well, you never know what you're going to discover.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Man,
I mean, it's a great opening act thing.
You've gotta see the opener, and you have to be respectful of the people on stage.
Yes.
Always.
So true.
Well, and back to our EP and the songs we chose and that connectivity with the fans. That's how we picked the songs. So the four of us, each of us picked a song. We joke about how they got picked, but the truth is
we
say
we picked the songs.
The
They picked the songs because of the reaction.
There were certain songs that we each sang lead on, and it was like, well,
which one do you go?
What are they reacting to?
Yeah.
Like which one am I either stopping them or exciting them with?
Exactly.
And either is good, depending on what you're going for.
Yes, and so we had the opportunity to put these songs together, not only with that as part of it, but then we already knew. We knew Women in Wine was happening.
Well,
there was no question.
Hello.
And then at the kind of in the twilight hour, we love playing Baby so much, which you heard in our sound check. And we're just like, you know what? This is going to round out the album. We should do a big fiddle solo at the end. And now that's like how we start our show. It's
I cannot think of the EP without that now. I can't believe it almost
No,
did.
that's so great.
I can't imagine.
You're like, we can't imagine. Now, where did you guys record it?
Well, so we recorded at Legends Studio with Dan Frizzell and a bunch of our favorite
A bunch of legends.
Yes, a bunch of legends, favorite studio musicians. And then Park Chisholm helped us do like the engineering piece of it, and the mastering was also by a good friend, Frank
Gagliardi, who used to play bass for us.
Yes.
I was going to say, I know that name.
You know Frank.
I was like, wait, I know him.
And we co-produced, which is really nice.
We co-produce.
That's so great.
All together.
Co-produced. It was fun.
By the girl.
Because we're all just like throwing ideas out and seeing what sticks, and it was a cool experience for me because I've done this by myself in the past,
right?
And it's so much more fun doing it with your girls, like just throwing ideas. And a lot of people think that we drank wine in the studio. We actually drank Coronitas. Coronitas.
Babies. So tonight's the EP release party in St. Louis. The album officially drops Friday.
Absolutely.
25th.
If Bob is on his game, I am going to get this edited and online by Friday. Come on, Bob!
Bob!
We love you, Bob.
I love Bob because Bob is my editor. He doesn't get enough credit, but I'm like, here, honey, here's the GoPro. See you tomorrow. I'm going to go to his show because that's what I do.
Love it.
So
and come follow us on Spotify.
Tell the people where they can find you on the social.
So Spotify, we obviously we're independent artists, so any kind of streaming services really helps us to get our name out there. I'm in charge of the Instagram account. You'll see me doing crazy things. Farewell and Music on Instagram. Facebook, we just look us up, Farewell Angelina. Come be a part of our Farewell family. And then farewellangelinamusic.com has links to our tour dates.
And
we're
Twitter,
going
everything.
to
Twitter.
I mean, Twitter. We're all on
Farewell
Twitter. Yeah, so just come be a part of the Farewell fam.
Yeah, no cost to join the fan club.
No.
No.
We have really fun parties.
Right, it's all on Facebook. There's the Kickstarters, there's the parties, there's a lot of ways to be involved, and I really appreciate how you treat the fans. I mean, I'm your friend, so that's a little different, but I appreciate I appreciate that I can call you. I don't have that.
Girl.
I'm like, I have to get Face ID on my phone because there's too many people in it now.
I'm actually bothered it's an arm in the middle of us.
I'm sorry.
See? We cannot have any boundaries.
Like,
you're an honorary Farewell Angela.
There you go.
Honorary
well,
Angelina.
I appreciate who you are, what you're doing. The next interview we can talk about women in music and where we're headed and where we're at.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic when all our friends and family aren't sitting out in the bar.
Yes.
So we've got a show to get to. It's EP release night here in St. Louis. This is Farewell Angelina. I'm Cheryl Swift, the Duchess of Rock and Roll. We wish you all peace, love, and rock and roll.